2024 meeting of the Martinsville Board of Works and Safety. Meeting is hereby called to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Costa,
Present.
John Lillywhite,
Present.
Kelly Bray.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay. We have two sets of minute meetings to vote on tonight. The first one is from the Monday, July 8th, 2024 meeting. You received these in your packets. Are there any questions or corrections to those minutes?
No, I'll make a motion that we accept the July 8th meeting minutes as written.
I will second, since John, you were gone.
And I will abstain.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 2 with 1 abstaining. The second one is the Monday, July 22nd, 2024 meeting minutes. Again, you were sent copies of those. Any corrections or additions?
Nope. I would motion that we approve them as stated.
And again, I will second that.
I will abstain.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 2 with 1 abstaining. First line of business tonight, Mr. Porter, you're thinking Christmas.
Good evening, Board. Tonight we do have 2 street closure applications. The first will be for the September, I'm sorry, let me get my notes in order, I'm sorry. September 24th, Bubble Fest, which is primarily, there will be some streets closed, but that's associated with what's going on at the venue, and the park will take care of those streets as part of their standard procedures up there. But they're also doing a 5K run, and that run, to make sure that we're all on the same page, it would be Pike Street east to Home Avenue north to into the Jimmy Nash Park, from the park south to Harrison, west on Harrison to Colfax, then north on Colfax to Cunningham, Cunningham Street west to Sycamore, and then Sycamore south back to Pike Street. So that's a little bit different than what the text says in it, but in conversation, that's what we came up with, primarily because of the cobblestone streets on Jefferson, north of Harrison.
Well, I don't know who
North of Pike.
decided on that route, but I feel I pity for the people having to run up and down
There is a representative here. I will open that to questions to them.
Oh, no questions. I'm not running it, so I don't
Staff, as with all these events that have multiple intersections closed, we do have a concern that there will be enough personnel to monitor those intersections, as we do with all the other events that have multiple intersections closed.
All right, no questions.
Carmen, I'm sorry, I have some questions.
Sure.
Wait, sure. I'm sure I can hear you from back there.
Okay.
I have no doubt, but,
The online can't.
what?
The online can't hear or not.
Oh, sure, okay. I appreciate you trying to stay north of Morgan Street and that the activities going on with the venue, was something going on with the venue that same day, so,
Yes, the venue all day long is part of the Bubble Fest activities that we're having.
okay.
Do you want to know about those?
No, I'm just happy to know that it's correlating with something else going on there. I'm concerned, and it's certainly not because I live within these blocks, but, with closing so many streets. Is there, and I understand you're concerned about trying to get into 5K,
Yeah.
but I just wonder if the committee has searched going, using one street out and one street back, so that we're not interrupting so many neighbors.
We're very flexible, okay? We just need to get that, like, 3.1, mileage in. And we are not doing this as part of a whole 5K world, like, where you get awards and things like that. This won't count. This is just a recreational one and to raise money. However, this is one way that we could find to not close the same street for a long time, like keep going back. And we could go all the way down, we could go all the way back. We might be able to come around. This was like to start off on Pike, to just shut that down for that amount of time, for a certain amount of time, and then we wouldn't, because we were thinking we'd shut all of those streets down. Once we get our people passed, we open that street up, and then we have the other streets that are closed, and we open them up as the runners are done.
A rolling closure.
Yes, if that makes sense, if that's helpful. If it's not, we're super flexible about this. We just wanted to stay on the north side where we can start and end the venue. Because we're starting with bubbles and we're gonna end with a foam fence and things like that for people to walk and run in.
Boy, that'd be fun.
And as with any of the events like this, we would do no parking along the entire route, whatever is selected, simply for the safety of the runners, and not having car restrictions to go in or people not going, there's runners coming and they pull out into the line of traffic. So we would recommend doing no parking on the entire route, whatever it is. And again, there will be traffic as people in with this route,
Well,
Have we ever done a rolling closure before? I mean, I feel like we.
the only time we did was the first Christmas parade, and that didn't work real well, and so that's why we've gone back to standard full closures, just for the protection of the runners, because you have some who are going to be much quicker than others, and some who will be laggards, and moving that along doesn't go at the pace that you think it's going to, so you end up really having the entire course closed, because of your runners,
So
based on experience.
with this sort of island, like we, from Colfax to Sycamore and then Pike to Cunningham, you've got a big group that's enclosed in this route. If a person needed to drive out of the route, is there going to be the ability for somebody to hold traffic for them so they can get out of there?
We will have people at every intersection that we're required to do that, so, but I guess the answer to that would probably be no, because you can't get, if we're gonna shut the whole thing down the whole time, you can't really drive on that street for those 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
I'm thinking more like crossing the street. So like, for instance, if I lived on Harrison at Sycamore, or Harrison at Wayne Street, for instance, and I wanted to leave that, island in the middle, and I wanted to just cross out of it, so I wanted to, cross the street and get out of the route. Will somebody be there to let those folks out? Because we can't just trap them in there for,
The 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
2.5, 3 hours that we would have. I mean, I guess, in order to make this happen, we would have to do that somehow, but I would say we're not gonna have enough people at every single street
I mean, as long
going
as there was
down.
a person at each intersection
Yes.
that could, just flag them through real quick.
Flag through people that would go in and out. Has that, Micah, has that worked before? Like, we have not done this. This is new, so, and my apologies, this is all new to me
The
too.
challenge becomes making them go straight and not turn onto the route, and that's the challenge you run into.
Yeah.
When you do that. Not saying it couldn't work, but that's one of the challenges that they think, oh, I can turn left onto.
You'd have to have a competent crossing guard person, whatever they would be, traffic director. Yeah, I don't know, I mean, obviously, Kelly, that creates a significant issue, but anytime you do a circuit like this, it's gonna create the same issue.
Would it be better, I mean, and like I said, we're so flexible, would it be, do you think it would be better if we went, all the way down Pike, we went through the park, those that want to go, we were planning on having a circle on the base that you could go around even 2 or 3 times, instead of, you don't want to make that all the way up the trek hill. There'll be some that absolutely want to, call, that challenge, but then come back down. If we just routed this, kind of an area in the park they could go through as well, and then back down Pike, would that be then going, down around, up north and down back through? We were thinking just to not shut off the whole street, but if we're not gonna roll it, and it's gonna be completely shut down for that amount of time, would that be more beneficial to change the route?
I mean, it is, but then again, anybody that lives on Pike, potentially to get out of their driveway. Well, I guess there's not
They
many,
should
there's
have.
not really many driveways on Pike, so I guess it's
But
not
there's a
an
lot of
issue.
parking, there's a lot of street parking on Pike
On
and
Pike.
Harrison.
Okay,
Pike and Harrison both, and so that's what concerns me, like, you're gonna tell all those neighbors, and then, that's a long trek.
They can park on side streets or whatever. I don't know, I do like the idea of just an out and back, and you can run around, and frankly, there's the track in the park that might lend itself to easy measuring. But
Cut down your intersections that way, and your volunteers that way.
yeah, a lot.
If you limit
Half.
at least half of your parking.
understand what you're saying, but it's really no different than the Fall Festival Parade.
Are you
Coming up
trying to
Washington.
get me a private,
Yeah. Well, I like the DFL. But then, when they come out of Washington and go back down Columbus, the citizens on Jackson
Yep.
are stuck from, what, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning till,
Well, we've got the program now that it doesn't really close until noon with the parade, for parade, the 5K run, it only goes on Washington Street and then it goes back and works.
So it's a
its way
turnout.
down. So it's only during the parade hours, and by that point, most folks are out ready to watch the parade. So it's a little different than a 5K run.
I know that regardless of how
But it's the
we
same.
do it, we're going to have, I mean, in order to run a 5K, if we do it in the city of Martinsville, which is part of drawing people in here, we're going to shut some people, somebody's going to be inconvenienced, so I guess it's,
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't mind the inconvenience, I just don't want to trap somebody in their house. So, I mean, making them park around the corner or something, that's
Yes.
an inconvenience, trapping them in their house is not too far off of kidnapping, so.
don't want that to be part of the Bubble Fest.
We don't, don't put that in the paper. That's not portable.
Carmen, I'm not concerned about trapping people in their house. I'm just concerned about you biting off more than you can chew. The route is fantastic. I walk that route with my dog. It is, a struggle but fun. But there are just a lot of parked cars and we would have to put out no parking on all of that. And I didn't know if you realized that. And there are several, if you counted all those intersections and thought, oh, what if a car wanted to go through here? I'd need to have a volunteer here. If you started counting those up, you wouldn't have any runners in your, you know what I mean? I wish
We talked about.
I wish y'all
Having
does,
one,
but
yes.
that's a lot of volunteers.
So would you, is the pike down through the park and the pike back, is that acceptable?
I prefer that.
Mayor, is that safe? Is that within our rules of our?
I would think so. I would think that would work, and again, you're gonna cut down on the volunteers that you need tremendously.
They were already doing
What I
it.
would recommend then is that we block Home Avenue at Morgan, so that somebody doesn't turn on Morgan and come up that one block to Pike and then be
Stuck.
in the situation, which is not a big deal. It's safer to do it that way, and have that block
Yeah.
buffer in there,
Yeah,
and then send them up into the park and then back down to Pike.
yeah.
And then we need to look for the park.
Have you talked to the park?
I've not yet talked to the park.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my permissions to say, yes, we can go forward from each one, so.
It would be, I think what you would need to do is you make a motion is make it contingent upon the park's approval.
I'll make a motion on the parks, contingent with the park, because they have a board that you might have to vote from, that we approve closure of Pike Street from the venue to Home Avenue.
And back.
And back.
And just right there, but then the little section of Morgan that you were talking about?
Yes,
Also,
we-
that-
yes,
also
that's,
that
that's
section.
the same.
That's
Okay.
the term.
Okay.
I would second that motion.
So motion made and seconded to close Pike Street from the venue to home. And then the race will go into the park, circle around how many times they need, and come back down to Pike, back to the venue. This is on September 14th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll send you an email that outlines this discussion tomorrow.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Our second request is for the WCBK Christmas Parade. This will be on Saturday, November the 30th. They're changing their route a little bit. They're going to be starting basically at the corner of Main and Pike, going over and coming through the venue, which will be all decorated for Christmas, and then coming down to Washington Street, going out to Home Avenue, and then north on Home Avenue into the park, and then dispersing from there. So, and again, as we've talked about, it's kind of the same situation where you've got openings, you're not blocking anybody in completely, but our concern remains personnel at the intersections, as we say with all of our troops. And there is a representative present if you have questions.
Johnny, Representative?
Yes, that would be me.
In the past, you had the large floats at the school here. Where are those gonna be stationed this time?
Well, we've actually spoke with the owners of the former Country Mark that's there, the big gas station, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, on more.
And they had said that we could use their parking lot, and then the B&B would be closed that day, we could also use that parking lot. And then, Mac, you offered to let us use.
There's some lots north of Harrison Street alongside the railroad that they might be able to get the floats into and avoid having to cross Morgan Street. But we will assist them in getting across Morgan, and that's the way we have to go. As they funnel into the Marshall area, which would be between which would be Pike Street between Marion Street and Main Street will be where they're getting their red line done.
No, we will be, Main Street will be blocked just to get across again.
I don't like closing Morgan Street or Main Street. I think that it causes all of the traffic that would normally be on Morgan and Main Street, our two busiest streets, to get routed into residential areas. And in this case, if somebody were coming in from the east side on Morgan Street and they wanted to go to the north side of town, they would have to come down 2nd Street all the way down to Columbus, take Columbus all the way across town.
Actually, they would be able to. Columbus is one.
That's right, Columbus is a one-way.
You go to Jackson.
Jackson's going to be, yes, okay, well, yes, so you're going to take Jackson all the way across town, theoretically beyond Main Street, so whatever that, I can't think of what that is, the next street on Mulberry. Yeah, Mulberry, and then come back around and through. I don't like that. That's, to me, it's too much traffic going on small streets. I'm assuming that the reason why you guys changed this is because you wanted to route it through the venue, is that correct?
Through the venue and more along the high traffic area there around the square, give more people an opportunity to see the parade.
Yeah, as I'm looking at this, like I said, I mean, you've got, I don't know how many, probably 50 square blocks, maybe not quite that many, that are completely inaccessible if you're coming from the east. And then it's the same problem if you're coming from the west on the other side, or from the northwest. So I'm more in favor of keeping it on one side or the other of Morgan. I don't know, what are your thoughts, Kelly? Like, when I looked at this, I'm like, oh boy, if a person came in from, that side of Morgan, they would have to drive all the way around and then do a big loop to come back in. And those, I've driven on those, everybody in here has driven on those roads. They're not designed for lots of traffic. Now, the closures, I saw the closure was only for an hour maybe, or something like that?
Yeah, the parade only lasts about a half hour.
Okay.
So it's a quick turnaround type thing. And I don't know, have we ever had any complaints or problems with us closing the road as we went across to the park in years past? I've never heard any complaints about that.
Well, I've
As you
complained
come
about
across, as you come up home and come across Morgan, I mean,
I've definitely complained about it.
oh, have you? I'm sorry, I've never met you.
It's, like I said, for me, I'm John Billy White, by the way. For me, it's just an issue of it puts a lot of traffic into neighborhoods that aren't supposed to have that much traffic. Now, that being said, this is a shorter closure. I saw the no parking.
No parking is in effect.
Yeah,
That's not the closures.
the no parking is less of an issue for me than the other one.
I see your point, John. I was inclined to say okay with this one, just because I know how short the
Yeah.
parade was in the past, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's not going to be much longer.
No.
I didn't realize Main Street would be closed, I thought we were gonna, but that's why I was wondering where the floats were gonna go, because I'm like, there's not enough room over there for all these floats to get out and not close.
See, I hadn't even thought of that, but, I mean, I assume you guys.
But I see the point of going by the venue, I think it sounds like fun, and
Mhm.
try not to be a Grinch about it.
Yeah, I know, I always sound like.
Well, you really don't have
See,
to
the
actually
neighbors over
close
here.
the road to take the floats over and line them up. They
Sure.
should wait for
This
traffic
is
to
dangerous,
cross the
makes
road.
it for next car, 'cause they can't even cross
Well,
the
okay.
line. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right.
But, you know, that'll be closed until the last person gets across, and then you'll open Main Street back
Go back
up.
right back up, yeah.
But Morgan Street basically will be closed
There and there.
and possibly, for lighting up the country mart, you've got 3 places.
Well, they can just come across as traffic permits from there. There's no reason to close those roads. You just maybe want to have somebody watch.
Maybe you can just get somebody out there to correct traffic for a few minutes. But, okay, I'm in the spirit of Christmas. But
I'll make a motion that we accept the road closure.
I will second that motion.
Been motion made, second to accept the road closures for the WCBK Christmas parade on Saturday, November 30th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no, motion carries. Thank you.
Again, I'll give you notification.
Listen, I'm trying to be nice.
Deputy Chief Combs, you're next on the hot.
I think you guys did it on purpose.
In your packet, you've got the proposal for vehicle replacement for 2025. In addition to the vehicle replacement plan to get back on track. The quote that was attached is short one vehicle. So it's 13 total. That's wrong with this.
Which means the dollar amount is short one vehicle as well.
No, so the 3 current K9 vehicles, the vehicles are traded in to offset the cost of that 13,000.
So we're buying how many?
13.
13, my gosh, for us.
So for several years then, so I mean, I'm assuming that the police budget allows for that.
Yes, the 6 are in their current budget. 6 will be doing with a general obligation bond next year. And then the 1, as Deputy Chief Combs said, that'll be a trade-in, so that'll be a 0 cost to the city.
One of the things we were trying to tell the police department is we want them to get in a rotation. We're looking at 6 cars a year, that's what we talked about from last year or so. But unfortunately, the 2022 Durangos are not only giving us trouble, but the whole state trouble. And the state police parked almost 100 vehicles that they're not going to use because they're not dependable. And that's what's gotten us into the problem. So by going this route, one of the things I tasked the police department is, you give us a 10-year rotation, how are you going to rotate these out, and how will you get on this rotation? And that's why they've given you the rotation on that too. I'm not crazy about doing it, but if you're going to do a rotation, you've got to have some decent stock to start with.
And in addition to the vehicle issues with some of the emergency equipment placed in the 22s, we begin to have light bars fail, controllers for light bars fail, all those things. With upfitting the new vehicle, again, it's equipment that has a 10-year warranty, so we'll be able to get 2 life cycles out of it to hopefully mitigate some of those costs as we move forward.
So, the 800,000 is the total amount that we're financing for, in this case, 12 of the vehicles. It's not including the 13th, correct? Okay, so that's saying that we're going to get a credit back of 51,000, another credit back of 198,000, and then we still got to pay off 167, right? Okay. Just want to make sure I was
any other questions for Deputy Chief Combs?
I would make the motion that we approve the request to purchase as stated with the amendment that there's the 13th as well.
I'll second
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the purchase of the police vehicle. All in favor, say aye.
that.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Also, we want to move into the evidence room equipment.
So the next packet is from Axon. Obviously with the building of the new police department, there's needed equipment. One of those items are the cameras for the interview room. This system allows us to operate the same platform, same cloud-based storage for any of our video evidence. The price has broke out over 10 years, with the cost of $7,980.10, give or take. And that will take care of the evidence room for the next 10 years, or the interview room for the next 10 years, sorry.
Are you paying it annually or are you paying it all up front? Looks like annually at least.
Yeah, it's annually. We asked for, if there's a price discount, but we spread out over 10 years, we're just paid all in one. It's the same net cost, so our thought is we do have the funds that we could pay for it, but at a 0% interest rate, why not?
I don't have any questions on it. I know we have to have it, so
I don't have any questions either. I'll make a motion that we accept.
then I would second that motion.
Been a motion made and seconded to accept the evidence room equipment purchase. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Oaks?
Good evening. This is a project related to the levees. We have gas lines that go through the levee, and for that, we have to provide them an easement for access to maintenance so they ever have such. So we have three different ones. We have one, this is the north levee that goes to the Craig property, and the other two are the south levee through the Holden properties. It actually goes to the property we will own at that point in time, as it goes through the levee, and it continues on through each of those properties as well. So we have to provide an easement for them. That's what these documents are behind. Your preference of doing the three at once, can't really tell them apart unless you understand the documents that the survey that explains it all.
Do they need to be separate?
I think it would be best if we do them separate, yes.
Just identify them by the number.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion then that we approve, there we go. Record number 202-402-446.
I'll second it.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the encroachment agreement number 202402446. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I would make a second motion to also approve record number 200504637.
I'll second it.
With another motion and second to approve the second agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And I would motion that we also approve the encroachment agreement for the deed recorded number 202309310.
And I'll second that motion.
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the third and final encroachment agreement number 202309310. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
You'll be interested to know, we've already gone through two of these. The levee's progressing very quickly. We delivered over 500 loads of clay just today with 60 trucks hauling. So, yeah. Good job, guys.
Gary, don't go sitting down unless you need to get your paperwork for the change order.
change order before you for the police station is from Envoy. This is primarily electrical work. As we've gone through the process, and you may recall, when we talked about doing the BOT, there are no change orders on their behalf. This is a change order that the police station does as an improvement of the process. Austin, Ryan, and the guys have been over there a considerable amount of time located by bedroom, I want another plug there. If it's in my closet, I want another plug there. For instance, in the big conference room where we can see 48 people for training, it behooves us to have plugs in the floor. So if we'll put a quadruplex in the floor at each location, there will be both a live electrical, but it'll also be a UHF connection, VHF connection. So that behooves us to make these kind of changes. I would tell you that we've looked at these and the change order amount of $47,663 was based on the first numbers that we looked at. We've looked at some more things over there and taken some things back out. So I'm going to come back to you in 2 weeks with a credit that lower this number slightly, but we need to keep progress going, construction going out, the drywall's beginning to go up. Now's the time to get every change made that we think we might want to do. So I'd ask you approval tonight, $47,863.
Just for the record, we're still below budget on this, correct?
Lower budget?
Below budget on this project?
No, we're not.
We are not below
No,
budget.
our budget was based on Envoy's contract that we had to start with. So these are ads that we're doing.
Okay.
So does that mean there is money for this change order?
There are, yes, we did set aside some contingencies monies, so this would come out of that pot.
Would we allow that for more change orders?
Hopefully not too many more change orders, but, you know, we do still have some room.
I'll make a motion that we accept the change order request for the headquarters.
I will second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve the change order, basically for the electrical on the police headquarters. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sewer adjustments tonight, 1190 East Pike Street, $698.12. 829 Plaza Drive, $543.85. 437 to 439 Duo Drive, $79.95. 1320 to 1330 South Marion Street, $1,794.83. 1010 South Sycamore Street, $532.60. You were given information earlier. Any questions or comments?
Now I'll make a motion that we accept the sewer adjustments.
I'll second that motion.
Been a motion made, second to approve the sewer adjustments that were presented to you tonight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion carries. Next regular meeting of the Board of Works and Safety will be on Monday, August 26th, 6:30 here in the council chambers. No other business. We are adjourned. Council meeting.